Brian here with you to look at this batch of 6 leather-bound volumes that all contain various periodicals from different years. This is a 1928 volume of the Canadian Historical Review. Here is a bound forum, which is 1928 by coincidence as well. And this is interesting because there are illustrations scattered throughout. As you can see, all sorts of interesting, like that's a very, I like that sort of silhouette style of the Deco era. Yeah, this is interesting contents of this one here. That looked like it might have been James Thurber cartoon, but I'm not sure. Here's Knickerbocker, and this one here is 1854, which is a good 75 years or something or more prior. And the Knickerbocker has various articles, like there's one on Switzerland, there's literary notices, modern sorcerers, Quakerism, stagecoaches. Oh, there's an engraving, Mary Fisher before the Sultan Mohammed IV. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Alrighty then. So we've got that one. Then we've got Outlook. Big heavy volume here. Still has an original cobweb on it. 1904. You see here, this is interesting. This is when the book was bound way back around this time, 1/2 red goat, which is what this binding is here. So it was a note the binder made to themselves as to what they wanted to see. Japan, Korea. Oh, look at that. There's an interesting map there showing the Korean Peninsula, diplomacy of war. We'll lay this down here. As you can see, oh, medals. Various full-page illustrations. As we flip through it, we can see, what is that? Looks to be some sort of species of, almost look like cannabis, but we don't know. Here is Korea. Look at that, the Gate of Seoul. And here are Korean. Oh, that's very interesting. Look at this, Korean officer of the old school. Okay, this would appear to be an article. Kim the Korean. I'm not quite sure what that is, but that's an article about Korea right there, which is interesting. Women in America. Teddy Roosevelt. Oh, what do we got here? Among the Navajo. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, interesting. And, oh, look, Tsar of Russia. Japan, Emperor, yes, Men of the Hour in Japan and Russia. Very interesting. Yeah, this is all kinds of interesting content in here. Okay, then we've got a Scribner's bound volume here, 6 months. Most of these periodicals tend to be 6 months. And this is 1888. List of contents at the front. I see something here by Robert Louis Stevenson, something else. Quite a bit of, actually, this has got a number of Robert Louis Stevenson contributions throughout it. Again, we see a range of all types of illustrations. Real reading and browsing pleasure is to be found within here, if you like to read. If you don't, you probably shouldn't be watching this video. Let's take a look. Yeah, interesting. Mendelssohn's Letters, Japanese art, the beginning, the end of the beginning, the pyramids of Egypt. Interesting. Then the final volume is the Knickerbocker, and this looks to be 19th century to our eyes, so let's just see. Yes, 1852, middle of the 19th century. And again, what we see is a range of literary writings. There's something about Bunker Hill and editors talking about various publications at the time, hanging at the yard arm. I'm not sure what that is. Let's see. And so this batch of 6 leather-bound periodicals, which would make great shelf decoration, is available online from me, Brian DiMambro.